Hello, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Menzo, this is my forever co-host, Jum, and today we're doing a loud spy movie, a very loud spy movie, to wrap up the spy action week. And that is Mission Impossible Fallout, the latest before the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason why the first trailer went viral was because of...
I was like, oh, why? Like, I don't know why. But he did it so well.
Yeah.
You see people cocking up their arms in like UFC fights, but just seeing Henry Cavill do it, like,
Yeah. That was the moment in the trailer I was like, alright, another Mission Impossible. Oh my god.
yeah, that was a moment I was like, am I straight?
Yeah, and like since Henry Cavill was in this one, like the year before that, or like the latest movie before this one he did was, the Justice League.
Justice League. Yeah.
So you're like, I hope this pans out well for him, and he does an amazing job. The movie is pretty good.
Yeah.
So needless to say, I too was looking forward to this for him. I was like, is this my moment of self-discovery?
No, I think it's just that like we ain't gay until we get that. Like that is the standard. It has to be Henry Cavill or nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I swear, if Henry ever starts flirting with me, I'm taking it. Hands down, I'm just taking it. I'm like, alright, you got me.
But yeah, this movie, I would say until the next one, which is the one this year, is still my favorite one. And it opens up pretty well, where you're like, oh, these are the stakes, I get it. Where you see Solomon Lane, Sean Harris, bad guy, just being the preacher for Ethan Hunt's wedding. You're like, that's weird. I thought you hated each other.
What's going on? I thought you're all meant to be, you know?
Yeah, and then he's like, you should have killed me. And you see a nuke go off, like, okay.
Yes.
And then we cut to present time where Ethan Hunt's awakened by the guy being like, there's an old legend of like a warrior confronting a storm. And like, hey, there's a storm coming, and the warrior just says, I am the storm. So far, so good.
Okay, hearing it for the first time in theaters was like cool, and then hearing it now, I'm like, it's kind of lame.
I know, but yeah, the mission is to retrieve the 3 plutoniums because the apostles are a breakaway from Solomon Lane's the Syndicate, and they're like the new extremists, and the new head is John Lark, and he's the one causing all this trouble now. He even has a manifesto of like, there can't be peace without a great suffering. The greater the suffering, the greater the peace.
The greater the peace. Yeah. And the thing is, we don't know who John Lark is. We don't even get like an intro to what he looks like.
Yeah.
We all know is just that he has a death squad ready.
Yeah.
At all times, and he has eyes everywhere. That's it.
And then we are reintroduced to Benji, played by Simon Pegg, and Luther, played by Ving Rhames. And as they're negotiating, something happens to Luther, and he's like, Ethan's like, can you bring in the money for the plutonium? Luther, I don't think these guys are patient. Luther, please. And then,
Yeah, he's just like, Luther. But yeah, turns out he got knocked out. Plutonium got stolen. They have a shootout.
yeah. And then Ethan has to make a choice between Luther or the plutonium. He makes the choice to save his team. And then this kicks off the entire plot of the movie. And then we cut to an air base where Ethan Hunt meets Alec Baldwin's character, the secretary. He's like, I know you have a difficult decision to make. That's why we have to intercept John Lark now with the White Widow, who's played by Vanessa Kirby. And
Alright, I like her.
yeah, I like her since The Crown. I was like, she's pretty, and she's a pretty good actress.
She's pretty.
Yeah. And then as they're about to take off, you see Angela Bassett's character and Henry Cavill's character, and they're part of the CIA, and they're like, you're not getting the plutonium without August Walker, because he's my man. And you're like, I can't wait to see how Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill's chemistry work, and you see how well they work together on the plane, which is why I think it's a shame this is Henry Cavill's only Mission Impossible movie, because I kind of want to see more.
Yeah, like I wish John Lark was still kind of like he survives this movie,
Yeah,
but then becomes a bigger threat
yeah, yeah.
in the next one.
Who knows? Maybe he
It,
is. You just don't know.
okay, the movie's been out for a couple of years now, so I can say this. Man had a hook in his head.
And he became Anakin. So there's that. But yeah,
No, he became Anakin, and then he had a hook in his
it's
head.
like, but no, we're skipping too much ahead. But yeah, you see how much of how strong-willed or like how much of a hardhead August Walker is when Ethan's like, "Hey, we have to jump off the plane this way. You can't just, you know, gun rush it." He's like, "Out of my way, Hunt." He just jumps ahead. You're like, I like
Yeah,
that.
like takes all his oxygen and just goes.
Yeah,
And then I was like, and then they're both like free falling. Damn it. Also, the biggest selling point here is that that was a real stunt. The in my opinion, it was kind of a waste because they CGI'd it because they wanted to make it more intense
yeah,
with lightning
yeah, yeah.
and a storm. When I feel like it would have had more of an impact if
It's natural.
it just yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
I like how when August wakes up, he's like, "Oh, hey, Hunt, you lost your oxygen," and Hunt's like,
You piece of.
"Like, motherfucker."
Oh yeah, that was the thing. Like, yeah, he got struck by lightning. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did not fry.
When
okay.
he got struck, I was like, I guess Henry's here for like 5 minutes.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, I was like, I don't know how he ain't dead, but okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Gets struck by lightning, passes out, loses oxygen. Hunt has to give him his oxygen, and then they get back down. Last second, they pull the chute, and he's like, "Oh, it seems like you lost your oxygen." Ha 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 ha. You know,
Yeah.
that scene.
And then they find who they think is John Locke in the club, and then they follow him to the restroom. And then the guy already suspects, like, something's up. Why are these two men following me? And then when he's about to hit Ethan, like, August Walker just takes the face thing and just hits his face with it. You're like, Jesus.
I do like it that Henry Cavill is playing so much into the whole brute thing.
Yeah.
He's such a gentleman kind of guy.
Yeah.
But when he starts, he just grabs a laptop and just smashes a dude's head in. It's such a brute move, and then he does the cocking gun
Yeah.
arm thing.
When they're trying to do the face thing, you see how hard August hits him with the laptop thing? You're like, Jesus Christ. He just like, man, we needed this. And he starts scanning his face. But like, from the outside, you're like, that's some kinky shit you guys are doing right there.
Yeah, because there are like three guys in one stall.
Yeah.
A couple of French guys trying to, like peek in,
Yeah.
make fun of them.
And then John Lark wakes up and starts fighting them. And that's where we get the arm cocking scene. You're like, Jesus Christ. August
This-
Walker hits hard.
This was so fucking good.
Yeah.
Dude, the stunt guy who plays not John Lark, was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing flips and shit and like taking care of like Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill together.
Yeah.
Like if what's her name?
Elsa.
Elsa didn't come in and shoot the guy, I think they would have lost this fight.
Right? Like he
Yeah.
throws poor Ethan Hunt across the bathroom like, Jesus fucking Christ. Why?
Also, like I can't unsee it now. I always look for it every time I watch Fallout, but because of Corridor Crew, they mentioned that one of the floor is padded.
Yeah.
So when Ethan would like put his knee on it, it would like cave in,
Yeah!
and you would see it in the movie. I was like, ah.
And then not John Lark is trying to stab Ethan Hunt and gets headshot. And then Elsa's like, can you still use his face? Ethan's like, we need a
There's
face
huge
for that.
hole in it. Yeah.
I don't remember Mission Impossible before that committing to like a shit ton of blood on the floor. Like, jeez, okay. It's definitely a headshot that killed him.
Yeah. And then they kind of played it off as a dude having a nosebleed. I was like, it's one hell of a nosebleed.
Right? Like, I think his brains are in the nosebleed, sir. I think he needs to be in the hospital, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't tell why Elsa's here. You're like, why are you here? You're not part of Hunt's team or August's team. So why are you here?
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't tell you. Answer any of those questions. You're like, all right, fair play. And then they're counting on like maybe the White Widow has never seen John Lark, and Ethan Hunt has to play the role of John Lark, and he meets her and tries to negotiate for the plutonium, but she's like, I'm just a broker. If you want this, we need to make a deal, and then we need to extract. Going back full circle, we need to extract some package, some classified package, and he's like, oh, it's Solomon Lane, just my luck. And you see how they plan to do that. The silent shootout with the French police, and Ethan's just like killing people through. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ, Ethan.
No, he wasn't killing anyone. He was just like walking through. He wasn't pulling the trigger. He was just walking through it.
But he does pull the trigger on the last guy. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was like a kid cop.
Yeah. And like, as Ethan can, oh, never mind. It's just his imagination.
Yeah.
And then Ethan, you can
By
tell
the way, the sexual tension between Ethan Hunt and the White Widow.
Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah, you could cut that shit with a knife. I'm like,
and then the next morning, August Walker does brief Angela Bassett, and he's like, I have a theory about John Lark, that we're looking for the wrong guy. I think it's Ethan Hunt, because probably Ethan Hunt has finally snapped. And then you think about all the past movies, you're like, you know what?
it makes sense.
Yeah.
No, well, it's not Ethan Hunt's fault. It's his government's. Because they keep antagonizing Ethan because he's too good at his job.
Right? And August Walker's like, how long until a man like that snaps? You're like, is that the big plot twist of this movie? Oh,
I would have
shit.
loved it if Ethan Hunt becomes the big baddie.
Yeah. If he just went heel, he's like, fuck this nonsense. But no,
Just imagine how capable Ethan Hunt would have been.
yeah. But no, Ethan's still the good guy, and he foils the brother of the White Widow's plans to kill all the police, but just spares the policeman's life, and then almost drowns Solomon in the truck. And he's like, he probably has no problem with that though. He's like,
Did you do that thing again? Where, like, remember in the 5th movie or 4th movie? Which one was it?
the
Where,
gun.
yeah, because like you like hold your breath
Yeah,
and see if you could do it too.
yeah. Sean Harris is like, fuck.
God damn it.
And then he's rescued by Benji while Ethan and August Walker are running around Paris looking for a way to escape. I do like how they smash the truck in the tightest corner so that it blocks the police vehicles. Like, that's
Yeah,
pretty smart.
so they planned it out. And all I gotta say is that I don't think Ethan's bike was sabotaged. I think it was a legit like,
Yeah.
something happened. You can't turn it on
Yeah.
because like August Walker's like, hey yo,
Ethan, where are you?
even though we know that he is the bad guy, he's
Yeah.
like, legitimately like, what?
He's like, shit.
God
But
damn it.
The crash that happens to Ethan, I was like, gee, oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, there's my
cool
escape.
bike chase too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're going around the Arc de Triomphe, I was like, oh, this brings back memories of John Wick 4. Except
Yep.
less vehicular manslaughter this time. Just Ethan running around. And then Tom Cruise escaped, and then they put her in the garage, and it left, and the police officer's like, what the fuck? Those are the
By the
men!
way, that like they open up and she's like,
Yeah.
she's like writing a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that poor lady.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
all I got is that was a cool fucking scene where Tom Cruise has dead eye for
Apparently.
some reason. Yeah,
You can hear the sound effects just,
yeah. The tuk, 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 tuk.
yeah. And he's like, I'm so sorry to the police officer. And she's like, okay. We good though.
Okay, yeah, you called the ambulance for me.
Yeah.
We could, you know. And by the way, that is one capable E30.
Yeah.
Like the old BMW that they have. I was like, that thing shouldn't be running that fast.
Yeah, and as they're going through Paris, you see Elsa just line up for Satch, like, who the fuck are you aiming me at, though?
Yeah, even Solomon Lane was like, is that Elsa?
Yeah, and he does like, shut up. He don't get to talk.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I do like Sean Harris as the bad guy for these movies. Like he's
So,
the
I
second best in my opinion. The first one being what's his name? Philip Seymour Hoffman's Where's the Rabbit Foot?
oh yeah, rabbit. The oh yeah,
Yeah,
rabbit's foot. Yeah, yeah. I would agree. I like uh, what's his name? The actor
Sean Harris.
Sean Harris. I love his voice.
Yeah, it's a
It's very whispery. I mean, it's very calming,
voice.
but at the same time, when you start saying something really evil with that voice, I'm like,
And now the blood's on your hands, Ethan
Yeah.
Hunt.
yeah, it's like, hey yo, now that's a villain.
Yeah,
Sorry, Christoph Waltz, I like you still, but
yeah, he's the example of a good villain.
Hmm.
And then after the chase, after they take care of the White Widow's brothers' men for a bit with the dead eye, they go back underground, and Sean Harris is saying his mantra of like John Locke's mantra of like there can't be a great peace without great suffering. Like it just sticks in your head. Like you just repeat it to yourself like, am I part of the syndicate now? Shit.
but it was that point where they're like, oh, let's all split up.
Yeah.
Walker, stay with what's his name?
Solomon Lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's after Alec Baldwin was like, "Are you John Locke, Ethan Hunt?" And you're in your mind, you're like, "I think this movie is trying to convince me that he's John Locke."
It almost got me though. It
Yeah.
really did, because I was like, that would be such a cool concept. Like the entire franchise will be we've been following this one dude go through his villain origin story.
Exactly. I mean, who can blame him after the government disavows him and he's been through like his fucking rabbit foot ordeal or whatever other came after? Like, you know what? In your mind, you're like, that makes sense that the movie wanted to do that.
Yeah, like he's not with his wife anymore.
Yeah. And then
He's always on the run.
Alec Baldwin was like, August Walker's not here to just be your friend. He's here. He's an assassin. He's here to
He's
hunt
an
you down.
assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And August Walker's like, hey man, it's the job. No hard feelings. And like, if that was me, I'm like, yes, Henry Cavill, I understand.
It's okay. I don't ever wanna like go toe to toe with Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Like shit, that's an assassin?
Yeah.
You see him from a mile away.
Yeah. Oh, well, also you find out that Elsa's here to kill Solomon. So there are various motives of like why characters are doing what they do, and the stakes are higher. Like, oh, if she stops Solomon Lane, they have nothing to trade with, and the world goes kaput.
Yeah.
And then we get the scene where like, all right, we're gonna deal with the plutonium. August Walker stays here and guards Solomon Lane, as Benji is disguised as Solomon Lane, and then
Yeah. Thus, like, August Walker just breaks.
yeah.
He's like, why couldn't you just stick to the plan? I'm like,
Why did you make it this so fucking complicated? Like, oh, I
yeah.
see.
Yeah, it's like, and then, like, Benji trying his best to be Solomon Lane.
Yeah, it's like he's right. Angela Bassett's right. The IMF is just Halloween wearing. Oh fuck! And then he's like, Solomon Lane's like, yes, I am Solomon Lane.
I love how Benji was just like,
And then he tears off the mask. I love it when Mission Impossible does that. You're like, oh shit. And then you
Same.
see where the Winter Soldier got their inspiration for their reveal of Black Widow. Like, oh, that makes sense.
yeah.
And then they tell the news to Angela Bassett. She's like, oh, cool. You're all under arrest. You're like, why? Like, I can't trust you with the plutonium. I can only trust myself. She's like, I don't like this character. Why?
Very Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as the CIA comes to take them, August Walker, she's like, or John Locke is like, all right, you want to play it that way? And then he turns to the CIA. He's like, all right, start firing. Like, oh, right, I forgot.
Yeah. There's people in the CIA. I'm like, oh. He's indeed. That was a cool scene. That was a cool scene.
Yeah, and then Elsa comes in to reinforce Ethan and the rest, but unfortunately, John Locke kills Alec Baldwin. You're like, oh, I like him in this franchise though. He fits so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it was in like 2 movies, and that was it. And like both of them were like him trying to go against
Ethan Hunt.
Ethan Hunt,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Welcome to the IMF." Dead. I'm like,
Right? Like, oh, okay. And then August, I keep calling him August. John Lark escapes while Ethan's on the trail. Did you see that viral video of Tom Cruise breaking his foot?
Breaking his foot? Yeah.
Every time I see this movie, I was like, oh, there's the moment where he fractures his foot and keeps going like the mad lad he is.
Like, you see him, like, get up from the building, where you see him, like, limp. And then the next scene, you see him, like, straight up running.
Yeah. Like, the power of editing.
Yeah.
Like,
power of time of healing.
Yeah. And you just see Tom Cruise do what he does best in every movie, which is run.
Right.
Whether it be Top Gun, The Mummy.
No, but his run is serious. Though.
Yeah.
Like, people have clocked in his sprints, and the dude is, like, athletically fast.
You see him. This movie came out before Top Gun 2, and you're like, how is this man at this age running like this? And then you see Top Gun 2, you're like, the same question, like, how? Well, how and why?
You see his face getting stretched by, like, God knows how many G's.
Yeah.
And yet he's still fine.
And then the scenes when Benji's, like, messing up the screen, he's like, oh, I forgot it was 2D. Oh, I forgot it's locked on. You see Elsa and Luther be like, fuck's sake, Benji.
Jesus fucking Christ.
This man's about to die, and you're fucking up. And then he's like, when he smashes the window, and Benji's like, what are you waiting for? He's like, I'm jumping out of a window. And then
he does. I was like, oh shit, sorry.
And the people in the back are just like, what do you do now?
This is it. He's loud quitting.
And then he catches up to John Lark, and John Lark's like, I can't kill you. But if you interfere with me again, I will kill your wife. And he pulls out a picture of Michelle Monaghan. And you're like, oh shit, she's back in the franchise.
Like her, like doing her work.
Yeah.
In like the Himalayas or something.
Yeah, that's why they set up like, oh, there's a smallpox outbreak in that area, and then she's there because John Lark contacted them like, can you help us with the smallpox outbreak, not knowing that I'm just using you to draw in Ethan Hunt. And then Solomon and John Lark go to Kashmir while the team are like, how do we defuse two bombs that go off at the same time if one of them is being defused? Like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I say this is like Mission Impossible's like traits. Like the its special quirk is that it really does get you at the edge of your seat. When shit hits the fan or is about to hit the fan, like down to the last second kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I really like when Mission Impossible does that. And they do it all throughout the entire franchise. And I don't get tired of it because they get really creative.
Yeah. And then you see Ethan Hunt go to the helicopter where John Lark is, and he climbs the helicopter. And the fact that you know that that's actually Tom Cruise climbing a dangling thing from a helicopter, and he's learning how to fly a helicopter literally on the fly. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with this man? At the same time, you're like, I love Tom Cruise.
I love Tom Cruise as an actor.
Exactly. And then Elsa and Benji are looking for Solomon Lane. Elsa finds him first, but she gets knocked out while Benji has to confront Solomon Lane all by himself. But you know, Solomon's more of a capable combatant than Benji, and like, he's hung from somewhere and he has to stand on something. This entire third act, you're like gripping your seat, like, what's gonna happen?
It was the weirdest thing because you forget that Solomon Lane isn't just a bad guy.
Yeah. The
dude was MI6, so
exactly.
Like, I forgot. This guy was probably like Black Ops.
Exactly. And then the part where Ethan Hunt climbs higher with the thing and almost kills them with the weighted thing. And the pilot's like, Jesus Christ. And John like, oh, it's Ethan. Shit. What do we do now? Because he has the trigger, and they start this chase of like Ethan trying to catch up. At one point, John Lark blows up the engine, and Ethan's like, oh, what do I do now? I guess I rammed them. But fucking A.
Yeah, like, you got no other... By the way, all throughout this entire helicopter chase, I was looking for that moment where Ethan Hunt was face-to-face with a truck.
Right?
That was in the trailer. It
never happened. How at the same time Luther is with Julia trying to defuse the first bomb. Rick, I hope this ends well for everyone.
Oh yeah. By the way, his wife, the love interest all throughout this entire franchise, happens to be like marries
Yeah,
somebody else along the way.
yeah.
So like awkward.
How about this poor girl has been through so much already?
That's very true. Like like let her live a normal life
Yeah,
while Ethan kind of like does this whole stoic.
yeah,
Like I will watch from a distance and keep you safe as long as you're happy.
yeah. Exactly. That's the best thing for this relationship, as they discussed before. The entire third act goes crazy because it is crazy. Like Solomon Lane knocks out Ilsa, and then Benji tries to drop kick him, but he forgets he's hanging. Like, oh, poor Benji.
Yeah.
And then Ilsa's trying to choke out Solomon Lane as she's trying to watch for Benji. She's like, oh, I hope he doesn't die. And then as she knocks out Solomon Lane, she just cuts him loose. At the same time, um, Ethan Hunt did crash into John Lark's helicopter, and they both have no tails, and they start rolling down this mountain while gas is being sprayed on John Lark's face. You're like, oh, cool. If he survives,
It wasn't gas. It was hot oil.
right?
Yeah, that's why it burned because it was just fresh off the engine.
Yeah. And then when they land, you see John Lark being like, ah, fuck. Like, oh, fuck.
Right.
It's a nasty scar.
Right? He was like, that's some Anakin shit if his limbs didn't get burned off.
Exactly. And they still start fighting. You're like, how long can these men go on?
Yeah.
And
But
then again,
they're both
it's
at the
Henry
edge
Cavill.
of the cliff,
Yeah.
and then Ethan Hunt has the idea of just like, okay, I'm just gonna pull this thing, thus hooking John Lark in the face,
Yeah.
crashing the helicopter, making John Lark
Yeah.
die. I can't English.
At the same time, Luther and Benji are like, I hope Ethan has the remote because we're going to cut this wire. If he doesn't, this movie ends abruptly. And then,
Yeah.
and it ends with like a flash of light. Like, oh fuck! Oh, Ethan's fine.
I keep forgetting that heroes always win at the end of
Yeah.
these movies.
It got me
Like,
for like
I-
2 seconds. Like, am I watching the darkest Mission Impossible ever?
Right? Like this is how it ends.
Yeah.
Like the villain wins.
Like, and we're rebooting. Like, oh, okay.
Why?
But no, Ethan saves the day and he's rescued by Julia's people, and he's fine. He even makes peace with Angela Bassett's CIA, and you're like, alright, still don't like you, but sure.
Yeah.
And it ends happily for Ethan Hunt and his team, and Julia, and you're like, oh, cool. Can't wait for
Oh
the next
yeah,
one.
and then and he also finds a new love interest within Elsa. So I was like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Makes sense, honestly. You see their
Yeah.
chemistry go from, what was the name of the last one?
Like
Mission Impossible 5.
yeah. I'm trying to remember its name.
Yeah.
Syndicate?
No. It was something.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then it ends well, and you're like, you're still gripping your seat off. Like, thank God I can relax now. Jesus
Mhm.
Christ. But yeah, what would you rate Mission Impossible Fallout?
Nah. Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a solid 9 out of 10. This show was fun all throughout. It showed us Henry Cavill as a legitimate bad guy,
Yeah.
which makes me like really excited for his Warhammer series. So can't wait for that. And yeah, like, I don't know. Everybody did great. Tom Cruise is batshit crazy, willing to do crazy stunts for a great movie. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Go the extra mile. I don't care. It's as long as I get a really good movie.
Yeah. I'll also give this a 9 out of 10. The fact that it came out the same year as Spider-Verse, the first one, and Infinity War, and it stands as one of the best, for me at least, the top 3 of that year, says something about, not everything has to be, superhero based. It can be original content, like Mission Impossible, and can still stand head and shoulders with the other, big action comic book ass movies. And this franchise just never stops going. I'm never getting tired of this, honestly. Like, this is the 7th one once this year, and I'm still like, can there be 3 more, please?
I feel like the weakest one was probably 5.
Really?
2 and 5.
Really now?
Okay, maybe I have to rewatch 5. Rogue something. Rogue something
Oh,
something.
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I'm like, who's I? But I have to rewatch it again. So I can't stand on that.
My two least favorites are probably the first and second one because it's all uphill from here. We're like, oh
See-
shit.
Yeah, it was uphill. Yeah.
Yeah.
The John Woo one was questionable.
Question: what's your favorite Tom Cruise stunt in this franchise?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I will have to go with hanging off a plane in Rogue Nation.
Oh yeah, where he's like
yeah.
in Rogue Nation. I would say the Burj Khalifa one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that with also what's her name? Zoe Saldana?
No.
No, I'm thinking.
That's another black actress.
Oh, my bad. I thought there was someone familiar from the MCU here, but never.
But I will say, well, no, there was Hawkeye. He was there.
Oh right, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. So, but for me, my favorite out of all of the Mission Impossible movies is 3.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Where's the Rabbit's Foot? Directed by J.J. Abrams. Like, damn, you're good at starting franchises. Not the best at ending them, but who's at this point it's fine. You can redeem yourself sometime.
Well, as long as the director previously didn't fuck up the story. Anyway.
I mean, 2 was kind of lame, so there's that. But yeah, that's been our video on Mission Impossible Fallout. What do you guys think? If you like our videos, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. I'm trying not to break. To see our best and funniest moments, Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, you can find me again, Alphas995 on Twitter. How about you?
You can find me at JomGM_ on Instagram. It is my account. Please leave a like and subscribe. We are trying our goddamn best. Seriously. Like, I don't know if you noticed, all throughout this entire review, we've been like fumbling over our words. Like, I think you were trying to say head to head, but you went head and shoulders. I was like, can I tell him? Nah, he's in a flow, so I'm like, I don't want to interrupt. And like me fumbling over like the most simplest of words, I'm like, oh god.
In fact, we all do this in a row, so we're good.
That's very true. So we work hard for you, the viewers,
Of course.
the people.
Speaking of where people can find you, how about where can people find you?
I already okay.
Oh, you
I'll
did?
do it again.
Never mind. My
Yeah,
memory's
I already-
lost, apparently.
Yeah. Sorry, I segued into this.
Sorry. But yeah, if you want to see us fumble over words in future videos, we'll see you. I guess. But yeah, for reals, we'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.